In Oahu's northern Ko'olau Mountains, a helicopter ferries a group of state and U.S. Army researchers and a cultural practitioner to a tiny landing spot in the Po'amoho section of the Ewa Forest Reserve. From here, they'll hike through knee-deep mud on a narrow trail to the top of a ridge, where they visit an exclosure, or an enclosure intended to exclude predators. It's a beefy enclosure built for a tiny creature. Currently, only one small wild population of the Hawaiian tree snail, Achatinella lila, is known to persist in the wild. On this day, this team of 6 plans to reintroduce 50 of them to try and establish a second wild population and the only protected one. David Sisko, Snail Extinction Prevention Program Coordinator for DLNR DOFA, characterizes this first reintroduction of captive snails into the wild as a milestone for conservation. The team includes well-known scientist and Nature Conservancy cultural advisor Sam Gahn, who offers poules for the beautiful misty forest and the beautiful snails. These long-lived snails are the 4th or 5th generation snails from a founder population of 7 adult snails first brought to this lab at UH Manoa in 1997.
So the endemic snails of the Hawaiian Islands have attracted the attention of naturalists as well as the public for actually a couple of centuries. One of the reasons is their diversity. So we have many, many different forms and species. Before contact, we think there were about 750 to 800 different endemic species of snails in Hawaii. Today we've lost a large proportion of these, anywhere from 70 to 90%, depending on the lineage. Most of the problems have to do with habitat loss, so basically destruction of their native forest habitat, introduction of non-native species, including plants, because the tree snails that we work with here are obligate arboreal species. They require native forests that are intact, so native trees and shrubs. And much of the flora of the Hawaiian Islands has been replaced by introduced plants, and so that has greatly limited their ranges right away.
Their new home and their first ever exposure to the outside world is inside this predator-proof enclosure. It's the first to be built in this harsh summit region on any island. Sisko hands each team member a leaf with 2 to 5 snails clinging to it.
That's how it's done, folks.
In a pouring rain, they gently nudge the snails onto the leaves of native plants. They seem to instantly take to their natural habitat, and you can see the glee on the faces of their human handlers. They ask one another if they can hear the snails singing. Hawaiian folklore and custom suggests the snails are the voice of the forest, making them extremely important to the cultural practices of hula and chant. There are 44 species of Hawaiian tree snails listed as endangered by the U.S. Endangered Species Act. And there are countless others that aren't listed, but seeing tremendous declines in their populations and also at risk of extinction.
Right here, waking up and finding their new home. It's awesome. Going right underneath where they belong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
This tree snail is one of the creatures critical to the overall integrity and health of Hawaii's unique ecology and ecosystems. Most of Hawaii's immense biodiversity is found in the smallest of animals and insects. This is true everywhere else in the world, but it's especially true here. If an endemic creature like this snail goes extinct here, it's extinct everywhere.